Ryan, we're already heading into week 3 of the fantasy football season. I'm your commissioner, Andrew Skolitsky. I'm going to go over some of my picks for week 3 and just kind of take a quick look at the standings as they are now after 2 weeks. But first, I kind of want to bring up a mockumentary I was working on for our fantasy football league. I did not do a great job of getting a lot of video, which I would need help in doing. Maybe Caleb or Josh or whoever wants to kind of collaborate with me on this. If you guys are interested, maybe you're not. I thought it would be kind of funny to do. But yeah, again, that's, only if you guys are interested. Maybe we'd kind of pick it back up week 6 or 7 and have some more planned content for it. But yeah, so here's just a quick demo of it. It's only like a minute and a half.
Well, week 1's in the books. Came away with a loss on this one. I just really let down by my team. I know my star player's hurt, but it's not really an excuse. Next man up. Keenan Allen looking like he might be out the season. Gonna have to make some big moves in free agency. Move some pieces around here. It's not the tone we wanted to set.
Week 1. Feeling after week 1? I took it pretty hard.
Can't believe I lost to fucking Josh.
I definitely wasn't happy with losing to Josh, but I'm not going to panic. I'm going to just keep playing free agency. I got Chris Hogan and Eddie Royal. I'm feeling pretty good going into week 2. I can't do worse than week 1. So I did not beat Caleb. The important thing is, though, that I kept my composure. I think it's important to just stay calm during these types of situations.
52 points. 52 fucking points!
Not panic. Ends up dropping McKinnon. Maybe not the best idea. But, overall, the important thing for me is I keep grinding and focus on week 3. On to the next week. It's going to be okay.
So again, if you're interested, just let me know. Send me a text or however you want to do it. Message board. All right, so here's the standings. 3 sets of 4. I've only been through 2 weeks, so people probably shouldn't get too concerned unless you're at the bottom and you suck. Maybe you should pick it up. But anyway, so 2-0, 1-1, 2-2, or 0-2, sorry. So let's just go through some of this. Starting at the bottom, we'll start with me. Last in points 4. I believe there's 3 or 4 people who've scored more points week 1 than I have in the first 2 weeks. Not looking good. Lost my wide receiver 1. RB1 suspended. Kind of expecting a bad start, not this bad. But yeah, overall just looking real bad for my team right now. I think we have a clip of Keenan Allen getting hurt.
I think he's right down here. Oh, the near hash. There he is, right there. I'm sorry, inside. This is Allen right here. Yeah, just coming out of the break.
He sure did. Planning, cutting.
Sometimes it's the acceleration, deceleration that gets those receivers in the open field.
And there's Keenan Allen's season. So moving on, we have Jason Rebel. He needs to get a picture, still doesn't have one. Some of you might notice I had to put a random picture in for you because if you use the icons on ESPN like a scrub, it doesn't always copy over. So back to Jason, the Sackos. He's working his way towards the title. He has some stiff competition down here, obviously, but Jamal Charles been out, so when he gets him back, that might help. He did have a close loss week 2, and week 1 he had a hard matchup, so he scored 107 points and lost 113. So, I mean, out of the bottom here, I think he probably is looking the best out of the bottom 4. So the next team is Sadie's. Team that has no name. Slow start for Dez, obviously, with Romo out. Stewart's hurt. Don't know how long that'll be yet. Overall, bad week 2 for her. And second worst in points for. So that's pretty common trim for the bottom here. You have the 3 bottom teams here with myself, Sadie, and then, of course, the next one, Team Hoover. AP's been hurt. Looks like he's out for the year now. Martin's hurt. Gronk's been out injured. Not a great start for Eli. Not a lot of depth because he spent on all of his money on the players above. So it's kind of understandable why he is at the bottom here. But surprisingly, still doing better than Sadie and I in points scored. So 1 point more than Sadie and 11 more than me. So next slide, we're looking at the 1-1 or the teams. We'll start off with Jason Cole's team. I put up 109 week 1 and still lost. And week 2 he had a pretty easy matchup versus, I'm not sure who he was first. I thought it was me, but that's week 3. So he's probably going to go to 2-1 if you're looking at it here. And he's actually the third highest scoring team. So he has had a loss, but it was a close one. And it's still pretty promising for him. I think he's fairly rated towards the top right now. Matt, great team name and picture, obviously. No surprise to see him at least 1-1. Fourth highest scoring team. Consistent scoring so far. He gets Gordon back soon, but he did lose Jennings and Decker's banged up. Then we have Josh. Easy week 1 matchup versus myself. 6 in points scored. So he's right about the middle. It's about where he should start. Gurley's had a slow start. If Gurley can pick it up, he might find himself moving up out of the middle here. And then, of course, my brother. He's had some hard matchups. He's actually first in points for and number 1 in points against. He has a lot of old players on his team, I guess would be the only concern. But so far, he's been scoring a lot of points. I'm surprised not to see him 2-0. So just, again, kind of hard matchups for him. And then we have the 2-2. These teams are probably feeling pretty good right now. Severed Heads. They had an easy week 2 matchup versus myself. Caleb normally beats me. I think we're now at like 1-8 overall between us. He has least points scored against. So having easy matchups like myself, I feel like his team hasn't been all that tested. He's actually only 8th in points for. So again, it's only 2 weeks in. But, no need to overreact. But I would say he's a team here that could have easily been replaced by a couple of the ones on the slide before. Lankiest of Birds, 5th in points scored, 11th in points again. So kind of the same situation as Caleb. Speaking of Caleb, Team Caleb Brondos, Thomas Peterson. He's actually 7th in points scored. But, thanks to him keeping studs like Theo Riddick for $1, he ended up winning so far. He won week 2 by 2 points, won week 1 with 3 points. So although he's only 7th in points scored, he's kind of skated by, and they weren't all that easy of matchups. He just, Thomas is pulling out the win so far. He's on his way to starting off at 3-0 again. Josh, don't tell me no. Bishop, I believe he's marked as first overall on the standings. He's 0.1 points tied from first place, which is my brother, in points for. So very, very close. He's had 120 points or more in the first 2 weeks. He has the number 1 wide receiver, number 8 wide receiver, which is Julio Jones, number 8 right now. Number 9 quarterback, which is Aaron Rodgers. Number 7 running back, David Johnson. Number 1 kicker. Number 2 defense, Broncos. So his team is looking good. He's got a lot of depth, it seems like, around his entire team. So far it's going really well for him. No surprise. And, yeah, that's kind of looking at our standings. I guess I did have a clip of Theo Riddick doing well for Thomas that I'll show now. And Colts in classic Colts run defense style.
Good job by Taylor Decker getting down inside. You had the pull and trap on the outside.
So to finish it off, I just wanted to go through my picks for week 3. I like throwing these out here. So far, I've been about 50-50, so we're just going to keep it going, see if I can improve. 50-50 is still better than my win rate right now in fantasy. So going to keep this going. I'm going to say I get my first win versus Cole. I'm going to call up big, not biased at all. Thomas versus Sadie. I'm going to go with Thomas, having him start 3-0 again. I have Joe versus Jason, Robel. I have Andrew Luck, ironically helping Joe to a win here. I have Tim versus Mike Bishop. Tim takes first loss in a close one. Like I said, Mike Bishop's team, just a lot of depth, a lot of consistency so far. 120 points first 2 weeks. Hard to pick against him right now until he shows something different. Brandon versus Caleb. I have Brandon winning by a large amount. Even though the projections on this are close, I just like Brandon's matchups more. I'm saying he wins by a big amount versus Caleb, and that would make me a little happy considering the ass beating I just took from Caleb. And then I have Josh versus Matt. I have Matt wins by a landslide. So picking bold here. That's my picks. So good luck week 3, and hopefully I come back to you guys next week with a win on my record.